We'll see how that works out for us. Which means I want to test something with this. If I can find the right angle here. That's it. Huh, okay, it does not like that. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I am unsure on that one. Okay, if I demolish that, I lose the wall, which is also kind of unfortunate. I have a suspicion that you only get this. You can build using it more after you let a bit of time pass. Alright, we'll see if I've learnt my lesson here. Well, not so far it seems. Delete you, and boom. That's somewhat excellent. And that's good, because now I have a house there instead of another business. A sawmill, rather. I don't want these sawmills, but I need them there to have some kind of population. Huh. Wonder if that's a spoiler. Alright, let's get our businesses going to a degree at least. Yeah, one of the worst things is that it's wineries that I'm trying to build here. And because they're a type of farm, they only grow 2 by 2. And that makes them extremely space inefficient. Also a general pain in the rear end to build. And look at how much fun these are not to build. Ugh, that's ugly. Yeah, this place is not going to have a high population. I think it'll struggle to have 300. Which puts me at a huge loss when it comes to wine production. There are lots of places that produce wine, so I should be able to get around it. However, if all the other inland cities also struggle in this capacity, then yeah, there's going to be trouble afoot. Not exciting kinds of trouble either. The really boring kinds of trouble. But that's okay, future Jake is prepared for this. Alright, there we go, those are some businesses for you, but I want to get back to our houses building, because that's what we're going to be lacking here. Why do that for me? And why do that? Oh, okay. Doesn't want to build. I can't make it. Another way to put it is I'm not going to make it, but we wouldn't want to start chanting that now, would we? Oh, I'm looking forward to being done with these inland cities already. It's not that pleasant, is it? Is it possible you'd be able to push out the wall quite a bit when you're the mayor? We don't know that yet, and we're going to find out when I become mayor. Which might possibly be tonight if I get this stuff built up and I don't get too distracted with other cities, and that's incredibly unlikely to happen, let's be honest. Then we will find out. As in, it's unlikely that I won't get distracted. All these double negatives, not good for you. So yes, I would love to push this wall out considerably, because it's going to be getting on my nerves. At least this is some fairly efficient building going on here. And that should keep us tight on the houses for at least a wee bit. I'm not tight on the businesses though. I need at least 100 of them before we go nuclear when it comes to populations around here. That's interesting. It allowed for quite a few of these. I've seen some people just draw straight lines with these. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It might make it... I see it as being less space efficient. I mean, a square is the most efficient in terms of the perimeter. But maybe there's something that I just am picking up on with this. Maybe this is somehow more efficient. I just have trouble seeing it. I mean, it shares more of an edge here, but I just feel like I could take this and have more room to work with. It's certainly less hassle to make, but I'm fairly convinced it's less efficient. Man, if my parents could see me now. Always knew he'd make something of himself. Okay, that should be plenty, right? Yeah. We'll call Patrician done, and we will pray that we'll be back on it someday. Also, we're getting rid of these wineries for now, because I may at some point be able to build outside there. Also, I want to be able to check something later, so... check... Patrician... Outer Road. Alright, well, I mean, 3 done, 4 to go. This is blasting right by, I know. Breslau and Warsaw are both not going to be particularly fun. Mostly because I always forget where Breslau is. There we go. Okay, Breslau is big. I like that. Because it also needs to produce wine, 500 of it. So this is a situation where Patrician being too small and Breslau being too big is a perfect match, because I can offload population and production from Patrician to Breslau. I think I have found the source of your spreadsheets. I've started to generalize them by a factor of average population to help the build up of my own Hansa. What do you think is better, focusing on 1 or 2 cities for building up your industrial base, or spreading them out, i.e. 100 lumber mills in a single city, or 30 to 40 in 3 cities? Specialize in one of them. Just make sure you can keep that city well fed. I mean, what I did was I had one of my cities go up to 55,000 population, whilst the other ones I built up to 10,000. But that's more mid-game level than early game level. But even still, early game, focus on one. It's a lot easier, and if you can, make it your hub as well. Also just keeps things easy. Alright, another place, which means I am buying up and destroying the people that live here.
Now that's an offer I simply cannot refuse. Take the business, with my blessing.
I also want a dilapidated old house, as luck would have it.
What do you want with this dilapidated old house? With this much gold, I can easily build a new one.
Well, do so. See how that works out for you. Because I'm taking over. Or I will when I see where your other businesses are. Aha. This is extremely expensive. Remember when I had loads of money? Alright, good. I did already build wineries here, it seems. 4 wineries, and those are all the businesses around here. So, as ever, buildings. Actually, I should build up some businesses first, since my people will need places to work. Doesn't want to build there? Well, that's fine. Now, wine is super not important. It's a luxury good. It will only bring me money and bring my people a reasonable level of prosperity. But it's a lot like beer. It has, no, it's not even like beer. Beer at least has a use as a meal for the poor. No, wine is very devoid of use. And this is super not useful for building in. Wow, that's horribly inefficient. I might really want to go out of bounds on this city, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see what we can fit in. That's a good number of businesses. Next up are houses as ever. And I'm so glad I'm bringing all these people plenty of brick and wood. That's a better way to do it out here rather than what I was doing before, which was a whole heap of ass. There we go. Okay then. You know, when I'm done with this game, I'm gonna play so many other games. Just enjoy gaming again. But what I'll also enjoy is looking back on what I've made here. Thinking I'm finally done. I've broken the curse of this game. That's what I hope happens. It might be like Samurai Jack, where thought I defeated the curse. No, I've only caused it to get a lot worse. Okay, it doesn't want me to build anything here. That's cool, I guess. What are other stories where people thought they had defeated a curse, but in fact they only made things worse? Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse, I guess? Great game. Greatest game I've never played. Will you ever be done, Jake? Come on, Max, we both know the answer to that question. Better question is, will you ever apply for a job? Alright, how are we looking here? We are plentiful on the houses. Let's get back to building our gravy train. Wow, just does not like me building stuff here. Farms are so unpleasant to build. I'm glad that there aren't that many farm-style buildings. Maybe I should build them like this. It seems just so much less stressful. Then again, I really don't like that level of inefficiency. This ain't banished. I need to be efficient. And unlike banished, there is no possibility for beautiful buildings in this game, or beautiful cities. The only beauty can be found in efficiency here. Nothing else. Alright, there we go. Plenty of businesses, plenty of houses. Now we are over halfway done because we move on to Warsaw, the final place of the inland cities that needs wine production. Ta-da! And the nice thing is, we're not going to be building wine here just yet. Apparently Warsaw has a huge capacity for population, and I can believe that, seeing the size of the place. They also have 7 businesses for me to tear down.
Now that's an offer I simply cannot refuse. Take the business. with my blessing.
I want one of your houses too.
What do you want with this dilapidated old house? With this much gold, I can easily build a new one.
Right. Does he have anything else? He's got one more business, probably a sawmill hiding. Probably hiding in plain sight. There we go. It's nice just buying out entire cities here. I mean, I can't become the despot of these already existing cities. That's just not possible. No matter how much I wish it were. But I can do the next best thing, and I will become the mayor of these cities in due time. Alright, that should do us in terms of houses. Still creates a massive demand for these other things. I will not build wineries here just yet. I'm instead going to focus on honey. Because that's what Warsaw is also going to be. We might as well splash up the spreadsheet for a moment. Warsaw, as you see there, is going to be producing 480 businesses worth of honey. Now, as you've probably noticed, because you are hawk-eyed and been paying massive amounts of attention, we are really short on honey. You can also see on the spreadsheet there the places that are going to be bringing us mead. Mead is also pretty important for meals for the poor, although that's about all it does. Honey itself is no use except for creating mead, which is kind of... I really like how the different goods have different roles to fulfill. Honey is nothing but a raw material. A lot like metal. But again, all goods still count towards the prosperity of your people. So there's that to consider too. I'm getting really drawn in by building like that, just because it's easier, not because it's more efficient. And at this point I'm just like, please stop when it comes to having to build these annoying farms. That isn't good. But by doing this, I'm going to appreciate every other city builder in existence a lot more, because they won't have these dreadful building mechanics. Or if they ever do, I'll become a game critic and pan them, just to seek my revenge for all the time I spend on this game. I need to find other, better economic simulation games. And if I have to become the world's most popular Patrician 4 streamer to do that, then so be it. I don't think that's a title anybody actively seeks out in their life. You know, it's difficult to explain to what could only be termed as normies what it is to stream games, especially when you somewhat make a living out of it. Best question I got was, is that even legal? It's like, yeah, because all the feds want to bust me for my illicit game streaming activities. I guess they don't know any better. Just make Paradox buy the licenses and make your own Patrician game. I'm not sure if I have the clout to just say, buy this. Why? Because I want us to make one. Not sure how well that would go down. Alright, another couple of these thingies for our houses and we're good to go. I will want to have meals for the poor in all of these places pretty much constantly once they're established. Warsaw has a ton of space here. If you consider that this is 100, 200, 300, 400, 500... Still leaves me with a decent amount of space. Then again, this place is meant to hold 680, so given that they're all farms, I might actually struggle on that one. And it doesn't look like there's a lot of space to build outside the city either, so Something to keep in mind. Nonetheless, Warsaw is done. We move over to Kaunas, which is going to produce cheese and nothing but. Interesting. And I have built... Very good, I already built dairies.
You are willing to pay umpteen times what this business is worth? I'm sure I can't imagine how you ever made it this far.
Can't imagine why they made you sound so retarded. Sell me a house.
You want to pay how much for this house? You know what? I can buy another 10 with that much gold.
I suspect I have made all the patricians in the Hansa more rich than I am right now by giving them all this money. Kaunas has been doing alright population-wise, but I have just gone and murdered the population, haven't I? That was a silly thing to do. Oh well. Oh well. Guess I should try to quickly build some buildings to make up for that. How long do these take to build anyway? Might be worth building some buildings that get constructed quickly. Building materials? Okay, because the minister is not finished, they're not considering that that's a done deal. Also, the cheeseries that I set up here have been producing nicely. I'm probably going to find myself super flooded with cheese, courtesy of Novgorod and Kaunas both being up and running. But that's okay. Just means that I don't need to focus my efforts on the other cheese producing areas just yet, which is nice for me. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got a ways to go until we have enough businesses to keep me happy for a short while. Now Kaunas I think also does... It does not do wine. Okay, it does mead, brick, grain, honey. If, for example, I do struggle on the wine front, I could move some of that wine to Warsaw and then move Warsaw's honey here to Kaunas, because Kaunas looks like it'll have some spare space. Then again, there's this thing getting in the way, so maybe not. Then again, there's always a possibility to build out there, so we'll see what we can make of it. I'm a flexible guy. Well, that's just ugly. I'm really looking forward to these inland cities being so well built up. I have for a long time said that Novgorod is the hardest city to build up properly in the game, but I'm leaning more towards that title belonging to any of these inland cities, because at the very least you can get to Novgorod by boat. How are we looking here? There are 100 businesses, but I don't own them all. The enemy still owns some. Where? Okay, he's got some clay pit. No, that's mine now, clay pit. He still has 2 businesses. Come on, eyes, don't fail me like you normally do. Huh, I'm scuppered. That mead brewery is mine, that clay pit is now mine. Ah, there we go. Dairies look so much like houses to me. Must be all that growing up on a farm. There you are. No, you're a burger house. Anybody with superior eyesight want to give me a cardinal direction as to where his final business is? Because I know he's got one. The other patricians might be rich, but you're the one that can blockade them and starve them into madness, pestilence, and cannibalism. So who's really enriched in this situation? Well, still them. He hasn't built one like further out here, has he? It's not something AI often does. I'm all ready to give up on this dairy hunt. Nope, give up. I simply can't see it. Which means I'll just build one more of my own. Otherwise, I need about 100 more houses and then I'm good. So casual, you know, 100 more houses. Remember in the early game when I was barely able to throw down a few of them. It was a frustrating experience though in the early game, and I'm very glad that we're past that. Where I wanted to build loads of houses, but I simply did not have the money nor the materials with which to do so. But like I said, we're past that now. We've moved on to bigger and better things. It would be nice if you burned down villages to this degree, that you could swoop in and just buy them, and then you could become a despot. Because becoming a despot is the true power play in this game. No elections, you just own the whole damn place forever. That's how it should be. Okay, so it doesn't actually want me to build out here for some reason. Not a problem, we built plenty of houses. Hansa shows promise, but even so I'm a little concerned for it. I want to save the game because I've done quite a lot here. And then there's one last place to do, and that's Berlin. Berlin's an interesting place. It's going to produce tools and cloth for me. Not a lot of cloth, but still cloth. So, Berlin, first and foremost. I did put smithies down. I also need to buy up the enemy areas. I'll start with this.
What do you want with this dilapidated old house? With this much gold, I can easily build a new one. Now that's an offer I simply cannot refuse. Take the business with my blessings.
I have spent about 150 million ducats on all these places. It's getting silly. Right, 2 more businesses that he's hiding from me. That sawmill is one of them, and it's pretty handy because it gives me wood for these smithies. But I import enough of my own wood, and it's really close to our hub. And there's something else you have here somewhere. Oh, not this again. You. Good. All the businesses are mine. Soon all the houses are mine. Nicely, they've already upgraded their minister. Because they actually had metal tools being produced here with which to do that. A real power play. Alright, that's great for now, but I want more smiths. I could build more cloth production places here, but I think Rostock's gonna have that covered for a while. Cloth is handy, but because I don't make clothes, it's not a huge priority. It's only a priority insofar as getting my ships up and running is. Which is admittedly pretty high on the priority list, but metal tools are needed for that as well, and they're far less of a headache to come by. Ooh, that went down quite smoothly. Nice. This, however, is a bit of a conflict. Don't like that.